Hello, in today's practice lab, it will be about troubleshooting access control lists. Everything would be pre-configured, copied from a notepad and pasted in the routers. Then we will look for errors and fix them. I hope my videos are helpful for those who are seeking to be certified for the Cisco exams. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and share it on your Facebook page and give me the thumb up. And please let me know if you have any suggestions, comments, or questions. I will gladly answer you back. On the description of this video, you will find 3 files. One for the packet tracer source files, and the second for the documents to walk you through the lab step by step until you finally will be able to verify the configurations you did during this lab. And the third one is the notepad for the 2 routers configurations. Now, an access control list, ACL, is a series of iOS commands that provide traffic filtering on a Cisco router. Access control lists are used to select the type of traffic to be processed. A single access control list statement is called an access control entry, ACE. The ACEs in the access control list are evaluated from top to bottom with an implicit deny all ACE at the end of the list. Access control lists can also control the types of traffic into or out of a network by the source and destination host or network. To process the desired traffic correctly, the placement of the access control list is critical. In today's practice lab, a small company has just added a web server to the network to allow customers to access confidential information. The company IPv4 and IPv6 network is divided into 2 zones: corporate network zone and demilitarized zone, DMZ. The corporate network zone houses private servers and internal clients. The DMZ houses the externally accessible web server, which is here on this topology is simulated by the loopback 0 on the HQ. To secure access to the corporate and DMZ networks, several access control lists were configured on the HQ router. However, there are problems with the configured access control lists. In today's practice lab, we will examine what the access control lists are doing and take corrective actions to implement them properly. When troubleshooting access control lists, it's important that its purpose and desired outcome is well understood. For this reason, the following describes the access control list configured on HQ. Here, we have nothing configured on the 2 routers, but I have this on Notepad, the configurations for, here we have ERGRP and also the interfaces on the ISP router, this guy here, and the interfaces for the gig 01 connecting this network and the link between ISP router and the HQ. And the same here for the HQ, we configured ERGRP and the loopback here simulated with the web server and the 2 interfaces and also the access control list. There are errors in these configurations, so what I'm going to be doing is copy and paste, and then we will go over the statements for our access control lists and see what we can correct. This will be a good practice for you to troubleshoot access control lists. But what I will suggest is after you copy these configurations to the routers, try to run ping commands and review the statements and see if it's working or not, and then follow up with me with the walkthrough, and after we correct everything, also again Run the pings from the PCs to from PCC to PCA to the loop back to the interfaces and see how things work for you or with you. I hope this lab will be helpful. So now we have access control list 101. Now this is implemented to limit the traffic leaving the corporate network zone. Access control list 101 is implemented to limit the traffic leaving the corporate network zone. This zone is often referred to as the private or internal network because it houses the private servers and internal clients. In this practice lab, this zone is assigned network address of 172.16.1.0/24. Therefore, only traffic from that network should be permitted to leave the internal network. Only traffic within this network. Now we have access control list 102. This is used to limit the traffic into the corporate network and only responses to requests that originated from within the corporate network. So it will send a request and only anything originated from this network is allowed it back into the network. This includes TCP-based requests from internal hosts such as web and FTP. ICMP is allowed into the network for troubleshooting purposes so that incoming ICMP messages generated in response to pings can be received by internal hosts. No other network should be able to access the corporate zone. The next access control list, number 121. This controls outside traffic to the DMZ and corporate network. Only HTTP traffic is allowed to the DMZ web server. Other network-related traffic, such as EIGRP, is allowed from outside networks. Furthermore, valid internal private addresses, such as 172.16.1.0, and the loopback address, such as 127.0.0.1, and multicast addresses are denied entrance to the corporate network to prevent malicious network attacks from outside users. And the next access control list for IP version 6, and we gave it a name no ICMP, no dash ICMP, all caps. This denies ICMP traffic to the DMZ and corporate network originated from the outside. ICMP response is allowed into the network that is responding to the request from the internet host. Other network-related traffic, such as EIGRP, is allowed from outside networks. Furthermore, the outside network is allowed to access the DMZ web server, and here it's simulated by the loopback 0 on HQ. Now, I will configure HTTP access on the HQ router. But unfortunately, the commands I'm going to be running now, they are not supported by packet tracer. But if you run this lab on a live equipment or using GNS3 or any other software, this is how we configure it. Configure terminal. Enable, configure terminal, IP HTTP server. This is how to configure it, and then hit enter, but as I said, this is not supported by packet tracer. Now configure a username on the router, we call it admin, and give it a privilege 15, the highest privilege, and with a password also of admin. Just for the simplicity of this lab, I'm using these simple username and passwords. hit enter. And finally, IP HTTP authentication, local. This is when you configure an HTTP server, and unfortunately, again, this command is not supported by packet tracer. And because packet tracer does not support this command, so the web server cannot be simulated. But this is how you do the configuration. Next, now I will load the router's configurations. Now we have them, as I said, these configurations for the two routers, HQ and ISP, are ready for us on Notepad. There are errors within these configurations, and this is the purpose of today's lab. Now we need to correct them. We need to find them and correct them. And the reason, so you will be good in troubleshooting access control list configurations. Now let's go to the Notepad. And from here, I will do the configuration first for the ISP. Just copy all of this until here. Right-click, copy. And then on the ISP router, you need to be in the configuration mode. There are two ways how to do this. I'll show them to you now. Enable configuration terminal, either anywhere here, right, like this corner, even here, right-click and click paste, or just make sure that the cursor is in here and then click on this button, paste. I'll show you both. I will paste here and then hit enter. And as you can see, all the configuration has been on the router. No errors. And now if I run this command, show IP interface brief, it's showing us that we did the configuration here for this LAN. It's up and up, but still for the serial link with router, the HQ router is still down, but this side is configured. Now when I configure the HQ, these two will be, the status will be up and the protocol is up. Now on the HQ, we need to be in the configuration mode. Go back to our Notepad and copy for the HQ router, highlight everything, right-click, copy, and as you can see, we have the access control lists, what I listed before and when I explained, for access control list 101, 102, 121, and the IPv6 access control list, and with the name no ICMP, all caps. Now on the HQ, first I showed you that you can paste it from anywhere. Just make sure, the second method is just make sure that the cursor is anywhere here and then hit paste. And as you can see, it took it, hit enter, and we will see one error here. One error here because, as I said, packet tracer does not support this command, IP HTTP server. Now, I will run this command here on the HQ router, show run. The access control list 101 is stated the following. This is our access control list 101. But the access control list 101, that the traffic leaving the corporate network zone, this zone is assigned network address of 172.16.1.0/24. Therefore, only traffic from that network should be permitted to leave the internal network. Now back to the HQ router, the result for the command show run, it shows us the first line, which is access list 101 permit IP 172.16.11.0 and with the inverse subnet mask of 0000255 any. Here that the network of 172.16.11.0, which is wrong because our network is 172.16.1.0/24. So the configuration for the network is wrong, and I'll show you how to correct this. Now the second line is denying IP from any network to any network. The second line, deny IP from any to any. But now we need to correct this line. Now on the HQ router, I will run this command, show access list. For access list 101, showing us line number 10 here, which is we need to correct. Now, because this is number 10, this line I want to delete and then correct it. How to do this? Type configure terminal, IP access list extended 101. Now we are in the configuration of access control list 101, and we have line number 10. We need to delete that. So simply type no 10 and then hit enter. Now if I run this command again, do show access dash list 101, it will, or do show run. We have only one line, and line number 10 is gone. And here, show access list. So many ways how to get to it. And as you can see, for the extended access list 101, line number 10 is gone. So now back to configure terminal. IP access list extended 101. I'll type the command 10 permit IP 172.16.1.0 with the inverse subnet mask of this and any. Enter. Now I will exit from here and type the command show access list and then go to the extended access list 101. We can see that we have the line number 10 with the correct network IP address. Now let's see where this list has been placed. Access control list 101. So I'll type show run. And here it's showing us by the configuration for the interface gig 01 that it has been placed on the out direction. Now let me talk to you a little bit about extended access control list. In Cisco iOS, the extended access control list can have numbers in range of 100 to 199 and from 2000 to 2699. extended access control list should be applied close to the source. Our source here is this network, which is this interface on gig 01 of the packet, so that the packet is denied near the source to save routers, router resources and bandwidth, rather than it being forwarded close to the destination and eventually being denied. As for our access control list 101, it should be placed on the interface of gig 01 close to the source, which is a network of 172.16.1.0/24 and in the inbound direction. So now on the HQ router, show run. I'll run it again to show you how we did it. Go back to the interface of gig 01 and it's showing us that IP access group 101 is out, and that we need to fix this to make it in, close to the source. Configure terminal on the interface of gig 01. Simply I'll type no IP access group 101 out, and we're still in the configuration of gig 01 IP access group 101 in. Enter. Let's see if this corrected it. Show run. Back to the interface gig 01, and 101 is in the end direction, and which is, this is how we wanted to correct it. Now we are done with access control list 101. Let's review access control list 102. And this access control list is to limit the traffic into the corporate network. Only responses to requests that originated from within the corporate network are allowed back into the network. This includes TCP-based requests from the internal hosts such as web and FTP. ICMP is allowed into the network for troubleshooting purposes, so that incoming ICMP messages generated in response to pings can be received by internal hosts. No other network should be able to access the corporate zone. So now on the HQ router, let's have a look at the access list. 102, show run. (102) showing us these lines, and there is another way how to do it. Also, show run pipe include 102, and it's showing us these lines. This list should be placed on the out direction on the gig 01, close to the destination. We don't want to place it on the serial 001 because this will affect the DMZ zone on the loopback 0. But placing it in the out direction of gig 01 should be the correct interface. Now I'll place it, this access control list, on the correct direction. Here, configure terminal, interface gig 01, IP access group 102, out. And let me see if this corrected it. Show run. Go to the configuration of the interface gig 01. and it's showing us IP access group 102 is out. And this is what the correct configuration. Now, as for access control list 121, this access control list states the following. This controls outside traffic to the DMZ and corporate network. Only HTTP traffic is allowed to the DMZ web server, and this is simulated by the loopback 0 on the HQ. Other network-related traffic, such as ERG, is allowed from outside networks. Furthermore, valid internal private addresses such as 172.16.1.0, loopback address such as 127.0.0.1, and multicast addresses are denied entrance to the corporate network to prevent malicious network attacks from outside users. So now on the HQ router, I will run this command just to see the configuration for this access list. Show run, hit enter, or show run pipe include access control list 121, and it's showing us that it permits the TCP from any to the host, which is the loopback 0, but here it's saying equal 89. This is not right. And because the HTTP port number is not 89, it is 80. So we will correct this. How to do it? You'll go to configure terminal, IP access list extended 121, enter. No, or before I do this, show access list. For the list, access list, control list 121, we want to delete or to edit or to modify. First, we will delete line number 10 to correct the port number. So configure terminal, IP access list 120 extended 121. I will delete line number 10, no 10. Enter. Next, I will add the new line, simply because we are still in the configuration of access control list 121, extended access control list, and n named, and 10, which is the line we deleted. We want to permit TCP from any to the host of the loopback of 172.16.4.1 equal 80, not 89. Type 90, 80, 80. Enter. Now, let's see if this corrected it. Show access list. And this is our access list for 121. And permit TCP from any to host 172.16.4.1 equal www, which is port number 80 for the TCP for HTTP number 80. Next, let's continue reading. Other network-related traffic, such as EIGRP, is allowed from outside networks. So line number 60, it permits IP from any to any, and this covers the requirement. This is correct. and it says valid internal private addresses such as 172.16.1.0, loopback address such as 127.0.0, and multicast addresses are denied to the corporate network, which is about lines 30, 40, and 50 deny the internal network, and it denies also the loopback of 127.0.0.1, and also denies the multicast of IP 224.0.0.0 Ember subnet mask of the 31.255.255.255 any. These lines are correctly being configured. Now for line 20, deny ICMP host 172.16.4.11. The simulated web server prevented from malicious attack, but the correct IP address is not 172.16.4.11, it's 172.16.4.1. So we need to correct this line. So we will do configure terminal IP access list extended 121, enter. Now we need to delete. Now we are in the configuration of access control list 121, no 20, because it has the wrong IP address. No 20, it's gone. Now we need to add it. So we type 20, deny ICMP any to the host of 172.16.4.1, and then hit enter. And let's check to see if our configuration is correct. Show access list, and line 20, it corrected it, the IP address as I showed. It's very simple to do it. If you do something wrong, you cannot. I'll explain this why at the end of this video. Now let's see if this access control list 121 has been placed in the right interface. I'll type the command show run. Now we will go to the interface of serial 001 and IP access group 121N, and it has been placed in the right direction here to enter in to the router. Now let's review the IPv6 access control list statement. We give it the name of no ICMP, all caps, and this denies ICMP traffic to the DMZ and corporate network originated from the outside. ICMP response is allowed into the network that is responding to the request from the internet host. Other network-related traffic, such as EIGRP, is allowed from outside networks. Furthermore, the outside network is allowed to access the DMZ web server. On the HQ router, I will run this command. Show access lists. Here we have those lines. IPv6 access list, the name is no ICMP. Deny ICMP from any to any echo requests, and it permits any protocol from any to any. It just denies the ICMP. Now the configurations for this access control list is correct, but we still need to place it in the correct interface. It should be placed on the interface of serial 001. I will run the show run command to see if it's correct. We need to IPv6 traffic filter with the name out. Now this should be in the in direction, so I will correct this. How to do it? Just simply like this. Configure terminal on the interface of serial 001. Simply no IPv6 traffic filter, the name of the access control list, no ICMP, out. So we delete this, hit enter. The correct is to be in IPv6 traffic filter, the name of the access control list, no ICMP, and in the inbound or in the in direction. Enter. And let me run this command, show run on the interface of serial 01, and now this is the correct configuration in the in direction. Now I have a question, or two questions actually. Now, how should the access control list statement be ordered from general to specific or vice versa? The question again, how should the access control list statement be ordered? From general to specific or from specific to general? Now, the answer is the order should be from specific to general, because the access control list is executed from top to bottom in sequential order. When a condition is true, the processing in the list is stopped and no further comparison are made. The second question is, if you delete an access control list, that's why I said if you did any something wrong with your configuration, check the lines, the numbered lines, and correct the line, and not to delete the whole access control list. And the question here, if you delete the access control list by using the no access list command and the access control list is still applied to the interface, what happens? Now, a default deny any would be applied. So be careful. And here to be careful, and you should be taken when deleting an access control list that is applied to an active interface. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope it is helpful. Now, as I suggested to you before, when you download the packet tracer source file, and when you copy and paste the configuration onto the router, just run command, run show commands, ping from PCC to PCA, from PCC to the loopback, from the PCC to the interfaces, and see. And then when you just write your notes down, and then run after you do the configuration, following the walkthrough, run the pings again and see if your configuration is correct. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be posting videos for the new Cisco exams, and I will do it either in one video between Arabic for the Arabic students or Arabian students, and in English. So I will be translating it. Hopefully this will be helpful for the students who speaks Arabic, and English is a little tough for them to understand it. So I'll do this, and hopefully this will be helpful for them to pass their exams. Thank you so much for watching. And please, if you have any comments, suggestions, just write me. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.